Good morning, everybody. Chang here, together with Senior Garcia, on a beautiful Sunday morning, the day after the league win at home against Brentford, where Spurs came out 3-1 winners. And I hope everyone's feeling great today, whether it's in the morning, afternoon, evening, or even nights, if you are over in Australia, down under, or even in Japan for that matter. But how is everyone feeling? I do apologize, especially to those who've been waiting for almost a good hour. We were supposed to start an hour earlier at 9 a.m. UK time, but due to some technical issues and also the unavailability of Miss Ash Patmaraj, we've had to begin a whole hour later, but better late than never, I say. And I think that rings true as well. In terms of our performances on the pitch. Of course, the last two league matches have left many of the fans wanting. Back-to-back defeats to Newcastle United and Arsenal. But yesterday, the lads showed great application to chalk up the first win of this month of September. And we look forward to our next competitive match, which is in midweek against Karabakh in the Europa League. And what's made yesterday afternoon's win all the more sweeter was that it was our second consecutive competitive win in a space of 4 days, having seen off Coventry City in the third round, I think it was, yes, the third round of the League Cup, where we also came out 2-1 winners away. And yeah, things are looking a bit rosier for Spurs now after that very convincing win against Brentford. But honestly, I wouldn't get too carried away. We all know that the games will be coming thick and fast, and it's very important, especially for the players, to stay very grounded, to stay very level-headed and focused for the next game. And yeah, I believe that all attention should be shifted and completely affixed for our midweek game against Karabakh. And let's get this show underway. Anything for you to add this morning, Jose?
No, again, sorry for the delay. I'm a late replacement this morning, but the show must go on. No, whatever you're leading the show, whatever you want, Chang, whatever you want.
Yeah, I may have about half an hour to do this show because I'm actually expecting another show to begin in about, say, 2 hours now. 2 hours from now at noon with Mr. Adrian Stroker and Mr. Ian Meth over on Spurs Diehards, Tottenham Till I Die. But whatever time I can spend here now to dissect that watch along, that very wonderful watch along that the three of us did with Mr. Colin Sievers yesterday afternoon. That was a truly spectacular watch along. It had everything in it. It had drama, it had early goals, it had late goals in it. It had some controversies too as well, with Vicario handling outside of the penalty box, which very surprisingly though, VAR didn't review it a lot more. And there will be talk about it. I did catch a bit of a match of the day where they did dissect the handball incident by Vicario outside of his box, and pretty much all the people on the show agreed that it was a yellow card. But somehow or other, it got overlooked, and I think Spurs got away with one there. But nonetheless, it still was a very convincing victory. There still are question marks, though, however, surrounding our defense, especially the way we conceded straight from kickoff. And it all stemmed from Kulusevski losing the ball in our own half, and that led to the players surrounding us very quickly. And I think for this match in particular, our defense, we can give them maybe the benefit of a doubt that they still hadn't really got started yet from kickoff. So I really hope that it's just going to be a one-off. Oh, look who's here finally. Thank you very much for hearing Miss Ash Patmaraj.
I'm so sorry.
That's right. That's right.
Please
No worries.
don't apologize. We all have our technical issues and
Yeah.
things like
We,
this that
we
happen.
only started 6 minutes ago, Ash. So
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. That gives me the chance to talk
so
about
it's your
all the things.
there you go. It's you two. You two. Go on, carry on. I'm just gonna keep quiet now.
Okay, so very quickly, welcome, Miss Ash Padmaraj. I hope you managed to overcome your technical issues over there in India. I think the first thing that I had to ask you on this beautiful Sunday afternoon, I think it's afternoon for you there already. And the first question, very simply, is: were you able to catch yesterday's game?
I was able to catch yesterday's game, and I mean, I was excited. I know that lots of people have very mixed opinions about yesterday's game, but I, for one, thought that there was definitely an improvement, and we can talk all about it. There's lots to catch up on, but I do feel like. And I'd like to see this improvement in our away form as well. This was at home, so it was a little bit more comfortable for us as well. But yeah, there's lots to discuss. How did you feel about it?
Well, it was a topsy-turvy game, starting off with how easily we just gave possession away straight away from kickoff. And before we knew it, we already conceded inside 30 seconds. But credit to the lads, they responded well, especially this equalizer here by none other than our club record signing, Dominic Solanke. He was able to pounce onto a loose ball that the Brentford keeper wasn't able to get hold of. And this all stemmed from one player. And I honestly feel that this player in particular should have been our man of the match yesterday, none other than James Maddison. If you have been following Spurs on social media, especially those that produce the highlights or even the individual player highlights, James Maddison was orchestrating everything. He was winning back possession. He was leading the front line. He was playing passes left and right, and he was setting up chances. And what kept it off what kept it off for me was towards the end when he netted his first goal of the season. That really was the icing on the cake for me. I would really look for the players and the coaching staff to build on this performance by the team. And yeah, lots of positives to take, and a lot of the fringe players, some of them got minutes as well, the likes of Bergval, Archie Gray, Mikey Moore, even Bissouma and Pepe Matasar got onto the pitch as well to come in place of Kulusevski and also Bentancur. All in all, it was a good day in the office for us, and I really do hope more of the same for the remainder of the season.
Yeah, fingers crossed, more of the same. Let's just catch up with the chat. I feel like I missed you also. I should say hi to everyone. Niall's here saying good morning to Ash and Chang, and he's also telling everyone to do their bit and like and subscribe. And Niall's asking, do you have your own channel yet, Ash? Funny you should mention that, Niall. I actually started a women's football podcast that I do every week.
I think she might have dropped off. Yeah, I think she might have frozen. She might have dropped off. Maybe some other technical issues affecting her. But yes, I believe Miss Ash Padmaraj has started her own channel with another female YouTuber over there in India. We will give you the details of their new channel that they set up, and I think they are doing shows on a regular basis in midweek. I think sometime Wednesday, or was it Thursday? I will get the details. I'll put it all up in the link in the chat. But yeah, it's a very resounding win for Spurs yesterday over Brentford. And I'll just continue. I'll just pick up from where he left off in the chat. Yeah, she was responding to Mr. Niall Kane, whether she has her own channel. She does. And as I mentioned earlier, the details will be placed in the chat. Moving down onwards to Mr. Shem Tan. Shem Tan, thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for your patronage and your time as well on this Sunday morning. He's saying good morning to the youngest looking old man, Mr. Chang, and the beautiful and very much missed Lady Ash. Hope you are both well today. We are very, very well, Mr. Shem Tan. Thank you for being here with us. To Mr. Chris Agambar, good morning, Ash, and the commentating machine that is Mr. Chang. I really hope you enjoyed yesterday's watch along, Mr. Chris Agumba. We really had a blast. Me, Mr. Sivas, and also Senor Garcia. It was our pleasure to bring you minute by minute coverage, play by play, as the match went along. And yeah, I really do hope to be able to do more of the same, to deliver more watch alongs, whether it's in midweek, whether it's the domestic cups or the European championships, or even the league proper. On weekends, such as we did yesterday. It was an absolute pleasure and a blast for me to be able to do that. So here's to more of the same. And moving on next to just a harmless potato or potato, however you pronounce it in your mother tongue. Hello, everyone. Big up Ash and Chang. Hello, and big up to you as well. Just a harmless potato. And moving on then, now we go to Daikaru. Daikaru, Ash deserves our patience. Jose, though, no, Jose has nothing to do with this. He is just the administrator. He's just here trying to put a show together for us all to enjoy on this Sunday morning. And enjoy we should after yesterday's resounding win. And I wouldn't necessarily look too much into our previous defeats or even our lackluster performances from matches past. What's in the past is in the past. We just need to build on the win that we chalked up yesterday. And I really do hope that from here onwards, the fan base themselves, our own fan base, we show some patience and maybe some thoughtfulness for our own players and our own coaching staff. I mean, to see Brennan Johnson bounce back with 2 goals in successive matches after all the abuse that he's been getting online, to the point where he's got to deactivate his social media. I think that's just sad to see. We're all human and we all have our bad days in the office, and yesterday was a good day in the office. So yeah, from here onwards in, I really do hope we show some patience and some thoughtfulness to how we react and how we respond to our own players on social media. So moving on to Mr. Let's see now. The next one is Spurs GCTV. Good morning to Ash, Mr. Chang, and all the peeps in the chat. Come on, you Spurs. Good morning to you as well. Spurs GCTV. Thank you very much for being here with us. And to AJ. AJ, how are you doing, my man? AJ. Good morning, guys. Big up Jose. Big up Chang. I hope Ash is okay. I really do hope she's okay. She was on momentarily earlier, just after we started the show, but unfortunately she's had to drop out again. Maybe some other technical issues have come up. I do hope that it's going to be resolved soon, because I have roughly, let's see now, I have another 15 to 20 minutes tops before I have to run. But yeah, I'll just get on through the chat. To Vindaloo, Mr. Vindaloo, thank you very, very, very much for being here. Big up Jose and Chang. To Vindaloo, if you are still watching, all the best to you. I know I should not be doing this on a Spurs channel, and I might even get some pelters in the chat, whether after the show or even during the show. But I wish you all the very best of luck later in your top of the table clash later tonight between Arsenal and Manchester City. That is going to be a very big game for Arsenal if they are to maintain their pressure at the top of the league. And I know it's going to be a tough away game for Arsenal against Manchester City, but if Arsenal play to their strengths, and with Declan Rice back, having served his 1-match suspension last weekend in the North London derby, I think Arsenal have a good chance of getting a draw at the very least at the Etihad later today. So thank you very much, Vindaloo, for being here, and all the best to you and your team. And let's hope for a cracking encounter later tonight, okay? So going forward to Spurs GCTV, correct, Chang, we should not get carried away. I agree with you. Spurs GCTV. The quad is on, an 8-0 win on Thursday. Well, we can dream. We did win by an 8-goal margin. I think was more than a dozen years ago when we beat Wigan Athletic 9-1. That's a very famous. Was it 4 or 5 goals by Jermaine Defoe on the night against Wigan? That was once in a lifetime. I doubt it I'll ever be seeing us win by an 8-goal margin ever again in competitive matches. But you never know. It's Spurs, so we'll just enjoy each match as it comes. Then the next one to Rakesh. Big up, guys. Big up to you as well, Rakesh. Thank you very much for being here. Hope you enjoyed the match yesterday and have a lovely and fantastic Sunday ahead, Rakesh. And then to Vindaloo again, it was December when you beat a top 10 side. Does Brentford count? Okay, so me and Senor Garcia, we did have this little chat yesterday with regards to beating a top 10 side. Honestly, regardless of whether we are beating a top 10 side or even a bottom half side in the Premier League, a win is still a win. And we can only play what's in front of us. We played the likes of Newcastle and Arsenal, and unfortunately, we lost to them. We also played against Everton and Leicester, and we got a win and a draw to them. And let's see what the rest of the month brings, because we have big games coming up against United and Brighton. And speaking of which, Miss Ash is back. I hope you've managed to fix your technical issues, Miss Ash.
Can I just answer this comment? Can I just answer this one comment, right? Vindaloo, I said on my show yesterday, right? Brentford were in the top 10 before we played them yesterday. So people will change the narrative. People will say that Brentford are not a top 10 side. They were, because they were in the top 10 yesterday before we kicked off. So for me, we beat a top 10 side yesterday. Now, the narrative will change because people will say, yeah, but they may not be top 10 at the end of the season. Stop changing. Stop moving the goalposts. Top 10 is top 10. We play next week. We play Man United. They're not in the top 10. Man United are 11th because we're 10th. So for me, the victory yesterday was against the top 10 side. Sorry, I'm just catching up with the chat, Ash.
Yeah. So Carl Simpson saying hello, Jose, Ash, and Chang. It's so much better when Spurs win. It is absolutely better when Spurs win. Lily White Lane's here saying big up Chang, Jose, and Ash, which I'm assuming is Ash. Carl Simpson saying for me, it's all about momentum and getting on that run going into each game. Let's hope it continues against Handbag FC on Thursday. Funnily enough, Handbag FC or Karabag FC, the wonderful trip the away fans will make to Azerbaijan. We have actually played them before in the 15-16 Europa season, and Sunny scored a lovely brace, which we much appreciated, and Lamela scored a goal. So it was actually an excellent trip for us and an excellent showing, because we won the away fixture 1-0 as well in a very difficult like hostile environment. So I'm quite happy with the Carabag draw. I think that we'll do well against them, hopefully. And I hope to see some of the young people getting some time. Lily White Lane was at the game yesterday. Great atmosphere and performance. Oh my God, I'm so jealous of you. Fenric Woods here saying big up game. Great win yesterday. Shamtan is here saying as soon as she mentioned women's football, the stream exploded in India. Yeah, I hate living in the middle of nowhere. It sucks. I want to go back to civilization where there's
By the way,
electricity
Miss
and
Ash.
internet.
By the way, Miss Ash, before you carry on talking about women's football, would you like to tell everyone about your new channel and what you're doing next right now on YouTube?
Yeah, so basically, I've actually started a new podcast, a weekly podcast with my friend Kai. It's called All About the W. Kai is a Chelsea fan. I am a Spurs fan, and both of us are new to women's football. So we thought everyone can join us and learn along the way, and it'll be a fun thing. I also think Spurs fans should pay attention to that team, because I feel like that's our best chance to win a trophy. So look forward to it every week, all about the W. I'd really appreciate it if everyone could show their support and like and subscribe.
It's there.
Yeah,
I've
right there.
put the link.
Yeah. and like Jose's shown a lot of support to us. Hopefully everyone else does too, and really likes the channel. David Clark, someone who likes women's football, saying about time Spurs fans show some respect to Vicario. I'm not saying he's the best keeper that Spurs have, but those two world class saves yesterday saved Spurs. What do you think about this, Chang? We'll start with you. What do you think about Vicario? It was a nervy sort of game for him. He didn't have the best showing, but he also made one spectacular save and one decent save. So what do you think?
So in terms of Vicario, I'm just replaying it here. Can you hear me? Am I still on?
Yeah.
About Vicario and it's a save. It was a spectacular save, and I'm just trying to replay it here, just over my right shoulder, where he basically clawed the ball away from the goal mouth as he was creeping into his far post, and it was a spectacular save to keep us ahead when we were leading 2-1 somewhere in the 67th minute. And he also made other critical saves as well, coming up from his box to clear off the goal line, and also clearing off from corners and free kicks. And yes, the early goal caught him off by surprise. It was against the run of play when we lost possession straight from kickoff, and the handball outside of the penalty box. I did touch on this a bit earlier after you dropped off, but I would just like to highlight again, things like this, they do happen. If I remember correctly, it was a few seasons back in the Champions League, Hugo Lloris. I believe Hugo Lloris himself, or was it? Yeah, it was Hugo Lloris. Hugo Lloris got red carded as a result of handling outside of his box. And his replacement, Michel Vorm, I think then he did concede very late on. And I believe now, if I'm remembering this correctly, I think it was against Inter Milan. Hugo Lloris handled outside of his box. He was shown a red card. His replacement, Michel Vorm, he conceded, and I think we lost that game. Although we did go on to qualify for the Champions League final that season, but even keepers have their day off, and that I think was a day off, or rather that was a rather a brain fart moment, if you will, for Vicario. But otherwise, he was top drawer, and I would really urge Big Ange to retain Vicario in midweek for the Europa League group game against Karabakh, because Fraser Foster, as much as I would like to see Fraser Foster get game time, we saw ourselves
No, I would
in
not like to
midweek
see
against
that.
Coventry
Thank you very
City,
much,
where
Chang.
he was
There's no
very...
need to be polite. I would not like to see Fraser Foster. Thank you very much. Please continue with the goalkeeper we have. I will take anybody over Fraser Foster, definitely, especially if the game is going to go to penalties. Thank you very much.
Yeah, exactly right. So that's pretty much what I have to say about Vicario, and more of the same from him, please. So moving on next, very quickly, in the chat now, to Mr. Lee Smithy Smith. Look at these fine specimens. Big love, Mr. Chang and Senior Jose. Big love to you as well, Lee Smithy Smith.
You wasn't there. You
for
wasn't
being
there when
here
he
with
made the
us on this
comment.
Sunday morning.
Yeah.
And also to Mich as well.
Yeah.
So next to Mr. Milton Nobrega, howdy Chang, Mr. Jose and Ash. Hope you're well. Lots of love from Australia. I still can't believe the amount of stick Brennan Johnson gets. It's 7:15 p.m. Sunday in Wollongong, I think. Wollongong. Just finished doing a 92 hours a week. Yes, I believe Mr. Nobrega, on Friday when we spoke over on Just the Girl Loves Spurs, you're already doing something like 72 hours or 70 plus hours a week. So 92 hours a week, I think equates to something like close to 12 hours in a single working day, assuming you work 7 days a week. So you've had a very, very long, taxing work week, Mr. Nobrega. Hope you get lots of rest, and much love and respect to you, Mr. Nobrega. Moving on to Matty Kushner. Big up to you as well, Matty Kushner. To Spurs GCTV. Morning, Lee, Smithy, buddy. I think they are chatting with each other in the chat. Moving on. And Milton Nobrega is saying, smash the like peeps, help support the beautiful channel. They do an amazing job. Lots of love and respect. Love this channel so much. Positively, I hate negative Spurs channel. Can finally have a beer. Have a beer on me, Mr. Nobrega. You've had a fantastic work week, and what a way to cap off your week with a Spurs win yesterday. More of the same from Spurs in midweek. Hopefully, fingers crossed against Karabakh. And then to Vindaloo, your thoughts on if Vicario should have been shown a red or not. Okay, so to Vindaloo, both me and Mr. Garcia, also Senior Garcia, had this chat about Vicario handling outside the box. I read somewhere that the rule states that if a goalkeeper handles the box or handle the ball outside of his penalty box, at the very least, it should be a yellow card. If he is rushing off his line when an opposition player is bearing down on goal and he has stopped a goal scoring opportunity by accidentally handling outside the box, then yes, it will be a straight red. So in Vicario's case yesterday, it was merely a yellow. And even then, he somehow or other escaped the yellow because VAR didn't review the incident. So thank goodness, Vicario escaped the yellow. And I do remember Vicario picking up a needless yellow last weekend against Arsenal in the North London derby. So 2 consecutive yellows for Vicario wouldn't look good on his book, and I think he really got away with one there. So thank you, Vinalu, for that question. And we move on next to Mr. Milton Obrega. Still have that shirt when Spurs beat Wigan 9-1. Yes, I do. This was an insane game. That's I remember the one with the yellow stripes, that jersey that I still remember the likes of, let's see now, David Bentley. He scored one that game, as did, what's the name of that Croatian? That Croatian got one as well towards the very end. Kranjčar, Niko Kranjčar, good old Niko Kranjčar. He also got a goal as well.
Chang, just to interrupt you for a second. Some of my favorite people have entered the chat. So I gotta say hi to Ben, who's here saying, morning, everyone. Morning, Ben. Hope you got your morning coffee and everything's going well at the and then Peter's here saying hi all, 7:23 p.m. in Melbourne. Oh, it's a lovely evening, Sunday evening in Melbourne. I'm so happy you're spending your Sunday evenings with us. And then Vindaloo, or is it Saturday evening? I'm not sure. Vindaloo is saying morning, Benji. Morning to you, Vindaloo. He's saying morning, everyone's saying morning to each other. And then David saying a great win and most players perform well, but sorry, Udogi is my main concern. The number of times he lost possession trying to run with the ball and list count of his wayward passes. I completely agree with David. I think Udogi's been off it a little bit this whole season, but especially in yesterday's game, there was this point where he found himself in a forward position as Ange's inverted, fullbacks do, and all he needed to do was turn a little and take the shot. But instead, he passed backwards to Kulusevski or something. And I was just like shouting at him. I was just so frustrated with Udogi yesterday. Jose, what do you think? Were you happy with Udogi? Where do you stand on this?
He's for me, he's playing himself back in still, isn't he? He's still not the person that he was last season. He's still trying to get minutes into his legs. He's so far behind. In reality, he's so far behind everybody else with his fitness and everything because he had no pre-season. So, there's no substitute for playing first team football rather than just training on a pitch. But you have got he's playing catch up with the rest of the team. Now at the end of the day, you've got to make a decision as a manager. Is do you stick with him and play him into form and fitness, or do you mix up his time and give somebody else an opportunity? And that's a decision that Ange needs to make. At the moment, he's stuck with the former of playing him into both form and fitness. But he's way behind. In reality, I know we're 5 games in, but he's way behind everyone because he's had no pre-season whatsoever.
Yeah, Rimanshu apparently disagrees with all of us, saying, I disagree with David. Udogi was really class. What do you think, Chang? Do you think he was class?
I wouldn't say he was class. He did put in a decent shift, and he looked more solid and composed this time around compared to the games against Arsenal and Newcastle United, I still feel that Udogie needs a regular, I want to say substitute, more like a regular left back that he can swap with on a regular basis. I'm not too keen really with Jet Spence filling in for him, although I know Jet Spence did play in that position in midweek against Coventry City, and chances are Jet Spence might even start at left back again on midweek against Karabakh. But yeah, I honestly feel that Udogie needs someone, say like Sergio Reguilon. If Sergio Reguilon is still very much in the reckoning in this Spurs team, and if Sergio Reguilon is going to be part of a squad and part of the match day squad in our games, I think Udogie definitely needs a rest every now and then. He needs to be rotated. There's absolutely no need for him to be playing every single competitive match for us this season, as we have both the domestic cups and European football to look forward to. And yes, I believe Udogie himself has a lot to catch up with, but it's still very early days, very early in the season for us to grade Udogie just yet. I believe the best is yet to come from Udogie. We mustn't forget that he's still very young. What is he, 21, 22 now? It's not even 23 yet, is he? So yeah, still lots more to come from Udogie, and hopefully he'll be back to his best quick.
Absolutely. Ian's here saying, "Come on, you Spurs," and then Lee's, "I love you, Lee," saying, "Sorry, big love to you as well, Miss Ash." Yes, absolutely. AJ's here saying, "I don't like this narrative of can we show some respect to XYZ. As fans, we have every right to criticize them for bad performances. As long as it's kept to football, it's totally acceptable." I actually agree with with AJ. Sorry. I actually agree with AJ because I feel like it's one thing to bully a young person, so nothing that's racist or sexist or homophobic or anything like that. But as long as it's a reasonable criticism, that's fine. Because what happens is, with reasonable criticism, these players are earning a lot of money and it's on our dime. The fans are the ones buying the kits, the fans are the one paying for the tickets, so these people are working for the fans. That's how it should be in any really good football team. And so as some if you think that these people aren't doing to the best of their ability, then you have the right to put pressure on them. It just matters how you do it. So any reasonable criticism of their gameplay, I think, is fair game. I just don't think it shouldn't be bullying of a young 23, 24-year-old, because that just feels wrong. um Ian saying not a red. Yeah, I agree with you. And then Milton saying cruncher. um and then Sai Dancers here saying hi everyone. Hi Sai. um And then Ben's saying it's all relative, isn't it? I pay upwards of £75 a game to watch these lots. So if they put efforts in, I'm going to critique it. Personal abuse is unacceptable in any customer based business. Absolutely. This is exactly what I believe as well. We pay the big bucks, especially the stadium going fans. So they should definitely have a say in how the team is doing. And then Rimanshu saying, being a big PPDA enthusiast, this was the best. So PP days, basically press per, what was it? Jose, do you remember what was full form? It had something to do with pressing, right?
It's yes, how quickly you retrieve the ball back off an
Yeah.
opponent. And last year, Tottenham's PPDA was 8.3, was the highest in the Premiership. And yesterday, I believe the PPDA was 5. So 5 passes before we got the ball back.
Yeah. Ian's also saying poor refereeing, though he didn't give a free kick. Yeah, I do. I mean, the less said about Premier League referees, the better. David's saying, like I said, giving Madison a slightly deeper role and teaming him up with Kulu work to treat. It could be Madison and Bergwall as a pair. That will bring out the best in Madison. That brings me to the topic of our discussion. Jose, we'll start with you.
Passes
Matter
per defensive action.
passes per defensive action. Thank you. Jose, how did you feel about Madder starting slightly deeper in? Do you think that this is the role that we should see him in always? What did you think about it?
Critiquing the game yesterday, right, Ash, because we did the watch on critiquing it yesterday. Um, what I said all along is that when we get to the final third of the pitch, right, if you stay static and you make no movement at all, then we look really poor, and that's the problems that we've had, is that we remain really static. For the first half an hour of the game, when we attacked and we had the ball, if we were down the flanks or even the ball going through the middle, you could see movement. Players were moving around and that. And when you move around, you pull people out of position and you create spaces and you don't look lethargic. And in the first half an hour, we did that really, really well, Ash. In the second half, I remember saying to Colin and Chang, look, and I think it was Sonny had the ball on the left-hand side, and the nearest two players to him were a doggy and Madders, in fact. And they stood still, they didn't move. And then Sonny's like trying to shake his player off and doesn't know where to release the ball to because there was no movement. So at the end of the day, for me, if we keep moving once we've got the ball in the final third and don't stand static, then we can execute our plans far better. But we need to keep doing that. I saw it for the first half an hour, or the first 35 minutes, in fact, I saw it. But in the second half, there was a lot that I saw that we went back to some of our old ways. Not the whole of the second half, but some of the second half we did. And when we didn't, is when we attacked and when we done well. So, but Maddison yesterday, for me, Maddison was the man of the match. Maddison played so well yesterday. He was picking up that ball, and he seemed to be playing the eight role, and Kulu seemed to be playing the 10. It was like they both switched the 8 and 10 role. I'm sure that possibly they both started out as two eights or two tens, but they seemed to switch their roles around yesterday. And he's had his best game for Tottenham yesterday, Maddison, in possibly a year, in a calendar year now. I'm going to say he played really, really well yesterday. Very impressive.
Yeah, Chang, do you have anything to add to that?
The only thing I need to add about Madison is consistency. It's pleasing and it's very good to see him back to his best. But I think that last statement there, that last sentence there by Senor Garcia saying that the last time he played this well was almost a calendar year ago when we were on that 10 game unbeaten streak to Big Angel's first ever season with us. I hope we don't have to wait another calendar year. Fingers crossed, we don't have to wait a whole another calendar year for James Madison to turn up another man of the match performance as he did yesterday. So yeah, I think consistency and being able to produce those sort of performances on a regular basis is what James Madison has to focus on right now. I agree to some degree that he can't always be producing man of the match performances week in, week out. I think that's pretty much impossible for any professional player at this level, especially when the games are coming thick and fast. And that's not even counting the unnecessary international breaks. But yeah, for a player of James Madison's caliber and his level, I think this sort of performances we should at least be getting one or two such performances from him every month or even every other game. But to expect him to come up with one of these performances once every calendar year, I think might be a bit leaving us short. But fingers crossed that he will be able to keep up with his consistency.
And then,
Yeah, you
sorry,
know what?
also just to add, sorry, Ash, just to add, you know that we
You're
keep
muted.
saying, I'm not, I'm talking.
He's talking.
You know when people say that Madison can't find space because it's a congested area, because our fullbacks push up and take areas away. Well, if you move around, like I was trying to allude to the first half, if you move, even if you push up, if you move around, then Madison then has space to operate. So yeah, he dropped deep, but we were moving, and the fact that we were moving around created space for other players. Sorry.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I would like to also add to that Brentford, they sat back a lot in the first half, and that also allowed Madison to play his game. If we're playing against a more physically dominant midfield that's coming forward, I think that he would have a slightly harder time. So maybe with the teams that are doing a low block, it might be good to push Matters back a little bit and have him play that creative role from the back. But it's possible that teams where, like Arsenal, for example, that also like to have the ball, that also like to play in the midfield, that it might not work as well for Madison. He's one of the best players in our team, right? I expect him to show up game after game because he has to now take the responsibility. He's a senior player. I can't expect Udogi to be responsible for our form, but I expect Madders and Sunny to always be responsible for our form because they are the senior players. They're the ones that matter. Not matter, but they're the ones that set the pace for the rest of them. I do have to say hi to a bunch of people. Nal's back. And then we have a bunch of people. Nigel's here saying, big up all, much love. Come on, you Spurs. And we have Drew Lala saying, good morning, Ash Chang, Jose, and chat. Everyone saying hi to Drew Lala, including Spurs GCTV, who I don't think I said hi to. Then Wayne Bonner's here saying, morning all, good 3 points, missed the first half. We played well, Matters played well. We got away with handling outside the box. Absolutely, we love that when it goes in our favor. Who else is here? Yeah, I think I covered pretty much everyone who just entered. Going back to these comments, now that we're done with Madison, Vindaloo is saying, I'm glad Johnson scored. That kid took a lot of crap lately, and I'm happy for him. This brings me to the next point of discussion, which is Brennan Johnson. 2 goals, 2 games. How do you feel about that, Chang?
I think we also need more consistency here with the goals. I do agree that it's not easy for someone like Solanke to be getting up to speed so soon after just having joined us less than a month ago or just over a month ago before the transfer window closed. I would still like to see a lot more contributions. I think the midfield, especially the likes of Madison or even Bentancur, Pepe Matassar, and Bissouma, each of them have to contribute. But for me, I think one of the key aspects of us scoring this season would be to get Son Heung-min back to his level best too as well. We keep speaking of how we would like to see Solanke, Brennan Johnson, Madison, Kulusevski, even what do you call this? Sar and Bissouma to score. But we must all remember Son Heung-min himself has yet to score this new season. So hopefully he doesn't take too long to break his duck. And if he does do that, I hope the goals will be coming in thick and fast for us. And yesterday, Son was showing promising signs, especially for those 2 assists that he had to his name. But yeah, I think Son just needs a run of confidence, a run of good games. And when he starts scoring, so will we. And it will be more than just a goal or 2 every other game for us.
Jose, Brennan Johnson, thoughts?
I'm glad for the kid that he scored yesterday. I actually thought his performance wasn't that bad yesterday. I thought he put in a shift yesterday. People just support the team. I like I say to everyone, support the team, support the players. Players feed off all this, and if you're negative to players, right, then it rubs off on their game. They're human beings at the end of the day. They can feel the crowd. They can feel when you're on their back and when you're not. And supporting your team, supporting your players helps out. I've been told, I wasn't at the game yesterday, but I was told by people that were at the game that they sung so loudly for Brennan Johnson yesterday, and that the crowd were absolutely 100% behind him yesterday, and that only breeds confidence in a player. To me, privately and in my own thoughts and in my own head, I wanted Brennan Johnson and Timo Werner to get goals and assists this year. I just wanted them to do it because they cop so much flack, and obviously Johnson gets more starts than Werner. So I'm happy that he scored yesterday, and at the end of the day, hopefully this gives him the strength to beat the Boo Boys, and for his game to flourish in the coming games and for the season as well. I was really, really happy with him. He created chances yesterday, and what I noticed yesterday, and I've been calling out for, he looked up. He didn't rush.
Yeah.
He looked up. He took that 1 second to look up, because on a previous show earlier on this week, I said, when you're playing against Championship, League One, League Two opposition, these people show you no respect. They're on your back all the time. They're right up in your face all the time. They man mark you so tightly. However, in the Premiership, players show you respect. So you have that chance. If you're a good player, you have that chance to look up. Your eyes are there. You look up so you make the right pass. You know where a player is to pass to. And I'm happy that they did this, that he did this yesterday.
Yeah, same here. I absolutely agree with you on Brendan Johnson's form. And the thing is, with me, I always felt like he was rushing it. He was rushing it. He was just, forcing it to happen, and just like taking a second, looking up, passing to, like everyone was like, he can't cross the ball. He can't cross the ball. That's because he isn't looking up. He's putting it in the wrong places. And just that one extra second really helped him, because with his speed, he's already ahead of everyone else. So in most cases, that was true in yesterday's game as well. So I do feel like he just has that fraction of a second to do that. And once these players play together for really long, like Sonny and Kane did, they'll know where each other are without looking up. So that can happen over the next 2 years or 1 year or whatever. But it doesn't have to be an immediate thing. Stop trying to force it. um I do have to come back to this comment by Ben saying, the moment I'm with Mickey, Spurs start winning football games, I will be moving her down with immediate effect. Ben, I think it is time now to start a Mickey. Let's have Mickey attend Games Fund. Everyone should contribute to a Mickey Games Fund and have Mickey at every game. Wrap her in cotton wool, bring her out for every Spurs game. We gotta win something now. Um, uh, let's make this happen. Come on, Mickey. You can do this. Just for us, one season. That's all we ask, just till we get the trophy. After that, you don't have to attend. Um, where was I? Here we go. Pedro Porro. Didn't have a good game against Brentford, to be honest. Yeah, Pedro Porro is a funny one, because we bought him, we got him in. We were like, oh, he has some defensive errors in him. He's not the best defensively, but going forward, he's so good that it makes up for any defensive fragility he might have. Chang, what do you think? Pedro Porro, did he do enough for you yesterday? Did you feel it was a weak performance? Because I thought it was slightly weak. Chang?
Yeah, so on Pedro Porro, yeah, I'm here, I'm still here. So before I go, I would just like to say very quickly about Pedro Porro. Pedro Porro is better going forward than he is with his defensive works. I mean, yesterday itself, that's a failure to cut out a cross. His failure to cut out a cross that led to the Brentford opener inside 30 seconds. That was actually down to him and his failure to cut out a cross. But on the overall, I still am I'm very satisfied with Pedro Porro and his overall contributions to the team. I still feel that he is better going forward than he is defending, and I really do. I mean, we still have to accommodate Porro at some degree when he tries to slot into our team. My only hope is that we can somehow work out a way where we put Porro further up the pitch if we can operate as a right midfielder rather than a right back, and maybe put someone like Jet Spence in right back. Then maybe we can see Porro contributing a lot more, especially if he's linking up with someone like a Brennan Johnson or even a Kulusevski in right wing. But yeah, I honestly feel Porro is better going forward. But for the time being, for now, let's just be content that we have Porro with us in the squad. And yeah, I think there still is a lot of work that he has to get done, especially with his defensive aspect at right back.
Yeah, I do agree with you. we have to say goodbye to Chang, unfortunately. But before you go, do you want to answer the question? Do you guys have a channel, Chang? Chang, do you have a channel?
I think what he's referring to, because Niall asked a question before the show started, I think he's referring more to you, Ash,
Oh yeah,
about your
I'll cover
channel.
it after Chang goes. I feel like Chang is gone.
Right, let me just
Anyway, bye bye
for not
Chang. But
just as Niall's there. Sorry, let me bring it up.
yeah.
There you go, Ash.
Yes, absolutely. I have a women's football podcast that I'm doing. It's like a channel where once a week we do an overview of all the games. It's going to be a really fun time. Also, because I'm excited about the new season for the women. I think we have a great team. Not the best team, but like it's a good team. Come in. Even if you're not a Spurs fan, we talk about all the teams. The person I've done doing this with is a Chelsea fan. So it'll be a great fun time had by all, so please do show your support. Even if you don't like women's football, maybe you'll get into it after you watch the pod and you see our excitement about the season. So uh, this is it, all about the it's called All About the W, and the handle is All About the WSL. So yeah, that's me. Rimanshu is very staunch in his Udogi support today, saying Udogi had the most progressive ball carrying runs in the pitch. You know what, Rimanshu, I do agree with you that he does a lot of progressive ball carrying, but unfortunately, he doesn't know what to do with it. And so when you're in, like inverted fullback, you find yourself in forward positions where you cannot either A, lose the ball, or B, turn it into something, turn it into a key pass, turn it into a goal. And I feel like he has the physicality to run with the ball, to carry the ball forward, but doesn't always translate into anything, and then it feels a bit like a headless chicken. So I do think that he needs to work on his the final pass, the final product, especially if he's going to work in an Ange team. Milton saying not, yeah. Niall's saying like, subscribe, share. Absolutely. Listen to Niall. Be like Niall. Niall's the best. Peter saying talking to each other. And then Ben saying the moment I covered this. Everyone saying hi to each other. Drula saying good morning. I think I covered that. And then Peter's talking. Okay, everyone's talking to each other. A question for the panel: if Spurs didn't exist, who would you follow and why, Jose? Who would you follow if Spurs didn't exist?
I'll just continue following Deportivo de La Coruña because they're my team in Spain, my
Yeah,
local side.
yeah. So I have a team in India as well. It's called Goa FC. So sometimes follow them as well. So that's who I would follow. And then Ben saying the fullbacks didn't invert yesterday, and Madison had his best game this season. It wasn't rocket science, but a positive change. What
A
do you
lot of
think
people
about
said
this?
a lot of people said that, Ash. Some people that went to the game yesterday said that we always had 3 to 4 players at the back yesterday. I don't know if I'm right in saying that, Ben, but that's what we were being told. Obviously, we could see the game ourselves, but that's what we were being told by people that were at the match yesterday as well.
Yeah. Jose, I heard you have to bounce as well, so I'm going to be by my lonesome. Um, uh, any thoughts before you go? Any last bits of nuggets of knowledge that you want to give us from the
No,
Josefina dictionary?
no, I've got a couple of more minutes. But I will say
Okay.
to people is
More
thank
Jose,
you,
yay!
thank you to Ash for coming on, and also although Ash will be here on LTEL every Sunday, normally with Ellie or with Chang. Um, Ellie has rang me and tried to FaceTime me and has asked for the link, so Ellie may join you. Um,
Yay!
but then also support Ash's new channel, her new venture. Ash, I know you're saying once a week, but is there any particular day that you're going on so we know to look out for you?
Yeah, it's unless there's a game on Monday as well, it's going to be Monday every week. Um, so
What time, right? What
that's
time are you going on? Because so people know to look out for you.
so it's not a live thing. It'll be
Oh,
it'll
okay.
be just a video because Unfortunately, I don't have the electricity to do this live every time. Living in the middle of nowhere sucks. It's the worst. So instead of having it live, we're recording it and then we put it up so everyone can watch it at their own leisure.
You've done well though, because you need 50 to go live, and you've already got 60 subs, or you had 60 subs when I checked this morning.
Yeah, it was amazing. I started the channel and overnight there were 50 people who just subbed, and I was just so happy about that. I mean,
Yeah,
I know it won't go like that in the future, but
I put it out in the groups, but it's worth putting it out in the groups. Put it out in the groups and see what you get from there, Ash. But good luck to
yeah,
your new
I'm just
channel.
amazed by how much love people are showing for the channel. Everyone's been like really kind about it. Jose commented, and like TTID commented, Ben subscribed. All of the wonderful people that I met on this community, they've all been really supportive, and I'm really really happy that women's football is getting some interest as well. So it just makes me really really happy. um anyway, should we move on to the next comment?
Yeah,
Niall saying,
I'll let you go. Carry on and enjoy the show. Well done, Ash.
oh great, thank you Jose for rescuing
No
me
worries.
on the day when I had no electricity and
No
everything
worries.
went wrong. Thank you so
Take
much.
care. Good luck, everyone.
Yeah, you as
Thank you.
well.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Okay, then, all by myself. Okay, now just me and 24 other people. It's nice to have you guys here. David saying, having watched Madison closely for the last 6 years, and for Leicester, he came off the left mostly, so he needs to face up opponents, not have his back to goal because he can get bullied. So he needs room. This is exactly what I was thinking as well, which is why I said that if he was facing a team that wasn't sitting back and was instead being very physically intimidating in the midfield, I reckon we would have seen a different Matters, because he does have the habit of getting bullied. So instead of having his back to goal, it makes sense for him. And perhaps this is where the deeper position came into play as well, because I thought that it was possible for him to like move with the ball and pass it and have the vision to pass it and create plays for people. Like there were times when I was seeing him make these passes to Johnson and to Sonny, and they were just like the vision that was there in these passes was excellent. And this was in the first half. I thought the second half, when Brentford came forward a little bit, that changed. So I reckon that this would work only with the low block teams. Yeah, Jose is reminding us, the boss man not here, but still reminding us to smash the like. Um, do the job, everyone. And then Niall's being a good boy, be like Niall, already smashed the like. Side dancer saying, if Sunny's form continues, do you think Ange would drop him, or is he undroppable because he's captain? You know what I think? Sunny's a funny one, right? Because yes, he hasn't scored yet this season, and yesterday he was. I thought by the end of it he was slightly off it, but I also think that despite his not scoring, and despite the fact that he didn't score in that amazing 1v1 opportunity that we had, uh, I would still put my faith in Sunny, because he is a purple patch player. He'll have one good game, it'll be followed by 10 good games, and then suddenly he's off it a little bit. But I think he's worth keeping because he's our only like genuine goal scorer when he's on form. And at least from his runs yesterday, we realized that he's not slow. So I think that's a good thing. Um, Rimanshu saying, for some reason, Sunny looked very hesitant to shoot. I feel like it's almost like bad juju. I feel like they're all really hesitant to shoot. And when they do shoot, it's like this weird ping pong thing, especially. I think it's also because of timing your runs. I feel like Solanki and Sunny haven't figured out a good, like tempo relationship with each other. In India, we call it talmail. It's like being on the same beat. And I feel like that's not happened. So sometimes when it goes into the box, it's like a little ping pong and the ball's just going everywhere. Like it's really like strange, because sometimes you're just like, how is that not a goal? How is that ball not in the back of the net? So it feels a little bit like bad juju, but I think it comes down to placement and timing, like where people are positioning themselves just a little bit. And I think that will come with a little bit of practice and time. David saying fans have no idea about Madison. He can do something great at any moment, whether it's a goal or pass. But he's never been a player who takes a game by the scruff of the neck. He needs partners. Yeah, absolutely. I think there isn't anyone since Harry Kane left. There isn't anyone in that team who can just be like, "This is my game. We are good." Like we are never going to see in with this team a Man City like performance where Harry Kane just says, "This is my game. I'm just going to go out and I'm going to beat City on their own ground." That's not going to happen maybe with this team, but I think that if they work well together, that's good enough. Milton saying, in all honesty, we should be on 15 points. Yeah. Well, hey, Leo, what's up? Big up, homies. 3:40 a.m. That's mad. Woke up and heard Chang's voice coming from my living room. OMG, Ash, what a surprise. Yeah, when you live in the middle of nowhere, every time you're on, it's a surprise. I swear, the number of times I have lost electricity today is just unreal. Ian saying looks like we're going to be on simultaneously. I'm going to end the stream soon, Ian. I feel like we're mostly done talking about the game. AJ saying big up to all the chat. Slap a like on the stream and subscribe if you haven't already. What was Solanke's goal like? Not seen it yet. I mean, it was mostly like a tap in sort of. It wasn't like a difficult goal, but he scored it, and that's all that counts. Unlike Son to miss two one-on-ones with the keeper. Yeah, this is what I was thinking. But I will say that the Brentford team defended really well. Like they made sure that like he went around the goalie, he did everything right, but they sort of came in and then blocked his path to the goal. I thought that they did a really good job. Niall saying thoughts on the quick goals in the game. Brentford scored in the first minute, then Spurs responded to it brilliantly. You know, Brentford's actually done this twice now. 2 games in a row, they've scored in the first minute. So I think that means that they're practicing this. And I do think that, you know, they have one of the best managers in the league. Good morning to you, Paul G. Unfortunately, you're joining us almost as the show closes. And then Johnson had Paddy's saying, Johnson, morning, folks. Johnson had a good game yesterday. It's fine to criticize, but personal insults are different. Any Spurs fan that insults players is not a Spurs fan. Absolutely. You know, these people, we forget that they're human and they're really, really young. Even the oldest ones are really, really young. They're like at the most 30. So I do think that it isn't right to, you know, you could traumatize a kid for life with some of these comments and some of this hate. So, yeah. Okay, everyone, I'm just going to wrap it up because I've been left by my lonesome, abandoned by everyone. Story of my life, sitting here in the wilderness, out in the sticks. So I will see you. First, I have to figure out how Jose ends his shows, but I'm guessing it's somewhere here. There has to be an end credit, right? Well, okay, I'm just going to end the show because I have no clue what I'm supposed to be doing. Join us for this lovely stream where nobody knows what's happening. Yay! Bye bye, everyone. And remember, please, all about the W, like, subscribe, go check out the videos. That's my new channel. It's a women's football channel. Please support as much as you can. And bye bye.